Good morning, students. Today we are starting with a fresh chapter, that is coordination chemistry or coordination compounds. So question number 1 is define coordination compounds. So answer to this question is coordination compounds are those compounds where transition metal ions they are bound to the ligands. Ligands are the electron rich negatively charged or neutral species. So metal is bound to the ligands through coordinate bonds. Such compounds they are called as coordination compound. For example, we have potassium hexacyanoferrate, and we have tetramine copper 2 sulfate. So the species they are enclosed in the square brackets, they are called as the coordination complex. The ions which are present outside the coordination sphere, they are mainly to balance the positive or negative charges. This is your coordination complex. And the ions which are present outside this, they are called as the ions of ionization sphere. So coordination compound, let us see. It is a compound of iron where iron is bound to cyanide through 6 coordinate bonds. This is our coordinate part. It is having 3 negative charges. And potassium is present outside to balance this negative charge. Then we have tetramine copper 2 sulfate, ammonia molecule tetrahedrally surround copper ions. They form 4 covalent bonds with copper. So this is our coordinated part, and sulfate is mainly to balance the valency. It is 2 positive. It will totally make 3 positive charges. So these are the coordination compound where transition metal ion or atom is bound to the ligands or the electron rich neutral or negatively charged species through coordinate bonds. Then we have the second question, what is complex ion? Complex ion is a electrically charged species which is formed by combination of transition metal ion and the ligand. So this is a complex ion. It may be negative, it may be positive also. So types of complex ions, they are cationic complexes, the complexes where algebraic sum of the charges of transition metal ion and the ligand that is positive. So this is cationic complex. It is tetramine copper 2 complex. It is a cationic complex. Then we have anionic complex. So it is electrically negatively charged species formed by combination of metal ion and the ligand. Example is hexacyanoferrate 3 ion. Then we have neutral complexes which bear no charge. They bear no charge. For example, NiCO4, here both are neutral. In this case, metal ion as well as the ligand, they both are neutral in this case. So complex ion, they are of 3 types we have seen. Now we come to another important question. That question is, can a complex ion give the test for those ions which are present in the coordination sphere? So this is our question number 3. Can tetramine copper 2 sulfate give test for ammonia? क्या ये अमोनिया का टेस्ट दे सकता है? Similarly, can NiNH3 4 Cl2 can give test for ammonia or nickel ion? So our answer is ammonia molecule or copper ion. Our answer is they cannot give the test for those ions which are present in the coordination sphere. So these ions, they are associated with coordinate bonds. Copper forms coordinate bond with ammonia, and these bonds, they cannot be ionized in the aqueous solution. So first complex will give test for sulfate ions only. The ions which are present outside the coordination sphere, and second will give test for chloride ions, not for ammonia or nickel ions, since they are strongly bonded by coordinate bonds. Then we come to what are double salts. Question number 4. What are double salts? As we know, the name indicates that this might be a combination of two salts. So justifying the name, the double salts, these are the salts which are formed by crystallizing the equimolar solutions of the two salts. Such salts, they are called as double salts. Example is Mohr salt. We have two common examples of double salt. Mohr salt, it is formed by crystallizing aqueous solution of ferrous sulfate with ammonium sulfate, and few drops, 1 to 2 drops of sulfuric acid are added to prevent the hydrolysis of ferrous ions. Here you will get FeSO4, NH4 twice SO4 having 6 water molecules. This is Mohr salt. Then we want to prepare a potash alum. Potash alum is prepared by equimolar solutions of potassium sulfate with aluminium sulfate. It will take 24 water molecules of 1 to 2 drops of H2SO4 added here also to prevent hydrolysis of aluminium ions. You will get Fitkari, that is potash alum. It is used in the coloring of articles. It is also used as antiseptic. This is your potassium. So double salts, they are formed by crystallizing equimolar solutions of two salts through their aqueous solutions. Then we have the difference between double salts and coordination compound. What are the differences between double salts and coordination compounds? Question number 5. Difference between double salts and coordination compounds. First of all, we will be using the definition in first point of difference. Double salts, they are prepared by crystallizing equimolar solutions of the two salts and in the aqueous medium. And coordination compounds, they are formed by combination of the transition metal ion with ligands. Both of them, they are held together by means of the complex, by means of coordinate bond. So first point is definition of both we have done in the beginning. Second point, in aqueous medium, they do not produce any complex ion. कोई complex नहीं बनाते. They produce at least one complex ion. One complex. They will definitely form a complex ion. Then we have third point of difference. They lose their identity in aqueous solution. All the ion they get separated. They do not, because they are forming at least one complex ion. They give test for all ions. Whatever ions are present in double salt, all can be tested. They give tests for all ions. They do not. Only give test for ions present outside coordination sphere. Coordination sphere, you understand, that is the square bracket. The ions present in the square bracket, they can never be separated, they can never be brought in the ionic state. That's why they do not give the test for those ions. Then we come to the next question. What are ligands? We have discussed in the beginning. What are ligands? Tell their types. As we defined earlier, ligand, these are the electron rich neutral or negatively charged species. They are electron rich neutral or negatively charged species which bound themselves to the transition metal ion through coordinate bond. And these coordinate bonds, they are formed by the overlapping of their orbitals of the ligand containing lone pair of electron with hybridized orbitals of the transition metal ions. And the ligand, they are of many types. Number one is unidentate ligand. Dent word is from teeth. The ligand which can form only one bond, which can give only one touch to the metal ion, unidentate ligands, they form only one coordinate bond. To metal. मेटल के साथ वो एक ही कोऑर्डिनेट बॉन्ड बनाने में सक्षम है. We have the examples for them. We have H2O, it is unidentate ligand, although it has two lone pair of electron. It is ammonia, it is chloro, it is cyano, it is thiocyanato, it is hydroxo, it is bromo, amido. So all of them, they are unidentate ligand. We have nitro, nitrito, negative charge is there, acetato, nitrosyl, nitrosonium, pyridyl, C5H5 ion. So these are monodentate ligand which are capable of forming only one coordinate bond with the metal ion. They form only one coordinate bond with the metal ion. So they are unidentate ligand. And we come to the bidentate ligands. As a name indicates, which can bond to metal through two coordinate bonds. Example is oxalato. COO negative, COO negative. it can bind from these two sides. Then we have En, that is ethylene diamine. This is CH2 NH2 having lone pair. CH2 NH2 having lone pair. So this is our bidentate ligand. Then we have glycinato. CH2 COO negative. NH2 having lone pair. These are bidentate ligands. Then we have acetyl acetonato. It can bind metal from these two oxygen. This is also a bidentate ligand. Glycinato is a bidentate ligand. Then we come to the another class, dimethyl glyoxymato, DMG. Dimethyl glyoxymato. CH3 CN. So this is dimethyl glyoxymato. It can bind through the two oxygen atoms. So this is DMG. It can bind through nitrogen in this case. Here also it can bind through nitrogen. So dimethyl glyoxymato. This is bidentate ligand. Then we have 2,2-dipyridyl. This is 2,2-dipyridyl. So these are the bidentate ligand. Then we come to the another class of ligand, that is called as polydentate ligand. The ligand which can form more than two coordinate bond with the metal ion. They are called as polydentate ligands. So this is our third type. They are tri, tetra, penta, and hexadentate ligands. Tridentate ligand is the derivative of ammonia, two hydrogens of ammonia. They are replaced by ethylene diamine, two ethylene diamine. So it is tridentate ligand. It can bind through three bonds. Then we have tetradentate ligand. In tetradentate ligand, we are having three ethylene diamine groups attached to ammonia. All the hydrogens, they are replaced by ethylene diamine group. One coordinate, two coordinate, three and fourth coordinate bond they can form. Its name would be diethylene triamine. It is triethylene टेट्रामीन, चार अमाइनो ग्रुप इसमें प्रेजेंट हैं. पेंटामीन इज वी हैव ethylene diamine, the derivatives of it. It is replaced by acetate group. One hydrogen is here on this side, replaced by another acetate group. So it is now pentadentate ligand. can form 5 bonds. It is called an EDTA. 3 negative molecules are here, 1, 2, 3. EDTA 3. Then we have hexadentate ligand. It is formed when this hydrogen is also replaced by this NH2 group. So you will be now putting ethylene, diamine. All the hydrogens of 2 nitrogen, they are replaced by acetate group. One coordinate, 2 coordinate, 3 coordinate, 4 coordinate, 5 coordinate, 6 coordinate bond it can produce. It is EDTA 4 negative. So it is ethylene diamine tetraacetate. It is ethylene diamine triacetate. Tri negative is there. So these are pentadentate, hexadentate, and so on. These are all polydentate ligands. Then we have the bridging ligands, fourth type. Bridging ligands are those ligands which form a stable bridge between two metallic atoms. For example, CO, NH3,4, mu hydroxo or mu imido. This is a complex ion here, so this will be now tetramine, cobalt 3, mu hydroxo. The bridging ligand's name is written after writing mu before their names, then mu amido, cobalt 3, tetramine, complex. So these are bridging ligands which form a stable bridge between two metal ions. They are called as bridging ligands. Then we have ambidentate ligands. That will be our next type. That will be fifth type, ambidentate ligands. So the ligands which have two donor atoms, but at a time they form coordinate bond only through one donor atom. So they are called as ambidentate ligands. They have two donor atoms, but coordinate through one at a time. They will coordinate. For example, cyanide can coordinate through C as well as N. SCN can coordinate through S and N. So these are called as ambidentate ligands, which are having two donor atoms, but at a time they contribute only through one donor atom. Then we have chelating ligands. Chelating ligands are those ligands which form a chelate or cyclic structure around the transition metal ion. And these ligands, they are all polydentate ligands, tridentate, tetradentate, pentadentate and hexadentate ligands. They all form claw-like structure, or you can say cyclic structure around the metal ion. That's why they are called as chelating ligands. So all they form claw-like, पंजे की तरह, और cyclic structure around metal ion. Example is ethylene diamine, oxalato ion. For example, cobalt, it is having ethylene diamine. So it form ethylene diamine produces claw-like structure around a claw of cobalt. Similarly, oxalate ion can form cyclic structure around cobalt. This complex is tris ethylene diamine cobalt 3 complex. This is trioxalato cobaltate 3. Cobaltate is used when it has negative charge. When it has positive charge on the bracket, then no specific ending is given to the metal ion. Its name is written simply. So this is all about our coordination compounds and the types of ligands. In next lecture, we'll be discussing other definitions and other topics. Thank you.